Hello and welcome to Patron, and this is alpha build demo from Steam Fest stuff that kind of looked around at. I kind of wish there was a random thing here. Sure. Go with something a little bit random. And right now they have a list of maps, a bunch of them that are not playable. Just only one in the demo, which is fine. I really hope that maybe they'll put in a random generator, and we'll kind of see why here. Kind of interesting. You can start off with more people. You can kind of change a bit of the things. This will, well, let's see. Normal, hard, easy. This game has made a lot of different things put together into one. So it's like Banished smushed with a little bit of Tropico, and those selections matter. You have a build grid, which is nice. I like that because you can make sure you're, using up your space. But your other grid, like Tropico, is, hey, it's really good to plant stuff here, and not really good plant here, and it's really good to, yeah, all the mountain stuff is. So you got soil fertility, and then you have ore grid, and this is why I kind of was hoping there'd be a randomizing thing. So it does make sense to put it around the mountain. In Banished it did have the open quarry, so it was kind of nice to have that and put it wherever. So it does kind of make sense it's around the mountains, but you are limited. And the other, and that is the last of the grid. You start off with a townhouse. Can't do too much in here to start off with, but at least you have the statistics, so lots of other things matter than just happiness, and you do get to see the types of your people automatically. You have 5 families, so you need 10 homes. You start off with a little bit of influence. It's a little quick mouse over, and generalized stuff there. Alright, so if we remember, this is good growing area. Got a bunch of yellow in here. So it wants you to put down some housing. Of course, you're going to need that. Town buildings, all of the things that are in color are things that you can afford. We have farms, but we need to upgrade some stuff. Depots, kind of like our stockpile kind of thing. And we definitely want to get a gatherer's hut. So this is what I kind of think might limit if the map isn't randomed a little. Like, you don't want to put it here, even though it was really green. But I'm assuming that is just for the fields. So, can we get back? Yes, we can. So you could, I guess, try to figure out, you have these circles, do you put them in between fields or whatnot? And so they'll have different efficiencies around here. And of course, going further away from homes and whatnot is also going to affect things. So I like going in this foresty area first. And it would take up a lot of the farming things. I haven't gotten into the farming. I'm thinking having a small farm stuff here situated. And the over 100%, I'm really not sure how that's going to work. Alright, so gatherer, hunting lodge. And similar to Banished, if you put your other buildings over other things, you can kind of see where their stuff is. Also, if you change your grid, you can see where it is. So I'm going to stick that guy next there. And you can rotate these. I don't think I need to at the moment. Not having the grid and not being in the forest, you might be able to see these a little bit better. Well, they do have an in and an out door as well. They all have some different kinds of sizes here. I'm gonna go a touch over this direction, hoping that they can add to the forest there. And so we're going to need multiple bits of things here in order to make it. And I believe it's like your coins and lumber aren't going to go away until they start it. And similarly, you're going to have paths. And there will be decoration and such, so it's kind of still a drag and drop kind of thing. I think I want to be over here. Okay. Let's let them try to first start doing this. We're going to have jobs. Likewise, but at the moment with our size of our city, we can only have one like laborer that will carry the resources. And I think people will generally build everything. Alright, as far as I know, I don't think there's a pausing kind of mechanism. But all these other people are trying to chop down some trees and get the areas. I think they might be working on the path. I don't think the path is automatic, is it? It's like got a line of where it is. And of course this also allows you to make double wide, triple wide, easily like 2 width, and then do a whole bunch of decoration. So there's a bunch of options that we can go through. So like that is similar to Banished to get started with. And you're going to have different types of housing and requirements. So basically the housing's all started and you have a kind of temporary shelter, kind of like a lodge or a hostel, or you know, whichever the different kinds of names there were in all of the modded Banished. Okay, I think this is the one that's a little bit more difficult, is the houses. They all start out being facing in a particular direction. I think I might keep this 3 wide, maybe here. And it does make it easier to figure out where you have roads and don't have roads. So they're going to keep chopping down that stuff, and I guess I really should have put down a depot here as well. And I don't think there's a specific direction for that. I don't know if I want to take up that much room. Maybe just have it right near the town hall. Alright, so now this stuff has been built. this is kind of like where this might be kind of a little bit more distant kingdoms like. So we have 2 gatherers, a forester, a hunter available. So now people will start working. But at each of these locations, we have things we can spend money on, of course, and materials. So we can, if we need more people to be working, there's usually an expansion, and then there's usually a production as well. And this one's got some different things so that certain things are better during winter, which is great. You're going to need lots of food. Okay. And then you kind of have to let time also go by because you're going to need that money. We're going to need wood also for firewood and for building, of course. I think I will get an extra person. And now they've gotten these houses done. And you can look at these houses, see how many people are in it. They have an inventory. And this happiness, I think, is different. Each house has its own happiness value. So, like, they'll be a little bit happier if it's a little bit better house and stuff. And I guess it'll let you, give you more ideas of what those individual people have. Let's get a little bit more road. Just as long as it's pretty much normal. Okay, and that's going that direction. Get another person out there. I really do like the grid for making things really tight and efficient if you want. However, it's going to be like similar to Banished, where if you put stuff in too tight, you're not going to get any of this other stuff. And at the moment, do not know if this is going to affect any happiness, but they have a nice variety for alpha. And the other thing on this game that makes you kind of be a little bit more like Foundations is that we have also a... How long is this? I haven't looked at the whole thing. Kind of like a going through the different ages and advancing things along here. So another reason why we gotta have money. So we'll get a couple more houses built. Get there's a little bit of variation, not much. Okay. And of course, probably people not being in houses are probably not pretty happy. But we definitely want to make sure the food is going to be plentiful. We're in May. We can add another forester, and this little lit up plus lets you know that, so that's also good. I think I will just stick another house down there. And eventually, okay, this is the other thing that's like more like Foundation, is that you're not a settlement that's banished. You're actually part of the kingdom, so you're going to have decisions similar to also like Tropico, where you decide, are you going to help the king or not, or religion or not, and stuff. And that will influence happiness and supplies and a whole bunch of things. Let's also give our people something to do. Let's get a little bit of tree action down there. See where we have stone. Okay. Not all of it's more of the smaller things, not the big things of stone. Similar, we have a little bit of metal there. And we have like naturally occurring like food here, but it is not something that you can get. Not something that can be resource gathered anyhow. Maybe that'll get changed, or that's just like, that's how like gatherer works. They need to have that sort of thing. Okay, so we need to also look at our depot, and this is also a little bit differently, so it'll have a overall capacity. You can tell them if you want to like not have tools in this one, or just firewood, you know, it depends on what you want them to put in here. Apparently we're finding wheat, or maybe we started with it. We got roots, pork. Maybe our hunter had found some pigs. A very big variety of stuff here, so you can see all the different things you'll be able to make later on. Alright, so there's the start of that. We should be happy, right? We have 5, we have 1 empty, but we have 5 families. I wonder if they possibly moved in together. Alright, so later on we'll be able to like get some bridges. It costs a good bit. Our tools will wear out over time, so we'll need to be careful of that. I did stick that a little too close, didn't I? They do like it. They like having these little signs around, so that might work well as too. Let's see, we got a depot. We need to upgrade that before doing any farms. We could do a watchtower. Don't want to do that. So there is a bunch of things that we can't do. We need to research fishing. Okay. I think kind of at the point where we can kind of let them start moving ahead a little bit more. We will need a schoolhouse at some point, yeah. Docks for trading. We have no firewood. That's what we are going to need here. We have a forester, we need a sawmill, so we need more money. So in that respect, we'll be waiting on them to kind of just time to pass, so you can't expand too quickly. You run all your money. And you're going to need some specific things to survive through the winter. Even though this looks a little tropical down here. Alright, we are at 80 gold, so we can do a sawmill. And I kind of want to make sure I leave this for fields. I kind of want to have some housing things here. And this does let me know how far up I can go. Okay, you need to be zoomed in some. It's not going to save me much space. I was hoping to maybe have more trees, but alright, you'll just be in there just for a little bit. Alright, so our little basic houses here. 20 gold, 5 lumber. Pretty good. So now this is grayed out. It's not an option, but that is still an option. So you have to click every one of them to know that. I don't think there is, or at least not in the alpha, a generalized button or selection, so you can upgrade a bunch at the same time. Got one more to do. We can go to our jobs list and put in a woodcutter. Alright, here we go. So we can accept the gift of corn. Got a little bit of food. I have one person. It's going to take 120 lumber to make 800 firewood. And I think it's a good bit of firewood for them to get through each winter. Which is why I wanted to get these houses upgraded here. I think we can click on... I don't think we can click on the individual people. I think we can only find out... Oh yes, the mousing over on each of the houses. So we can see their ages and such. Not a very quick way to find who's living in each house, but it is a way nonetheless. Got a lot of young kids. Just had another kid born. So no events like that sort of thing. Just kind of always have your numbers available. Alright, herbs would be pretty good to do at some point here. But I think you're gonna have to wait till next time. These are also pretty nice. Nothing to do with depots. Now we can see where everything is. Alright, so we have large baskets number 2. We don't exactly need the food, but I really think that in this game, though, it's really important to stay up ahead of the food. It's just really bad if you get below it, because it takes so long to do any of the trading and all that stuff. Alright, we could do that. Production during winter, so you know, our winter is going to get affected by these. Don't think there's anything there. Our efficiency is lowered, so I think we can go with that so that they can get upgraded there. I don't know if the animals get depleted or anything. Does that look like a little... Oh, it looks like a boar. I thought maybe it was a wolf. Don't want that. Alright, 384 per year. So also if you're using 120 for just the fuel, that takes up a good bit of that. So we can increase production, we can get another person. Growth speed could be pretty good. Alright, let's just wait past the winter for the next bit of stuff. Oh, we have an event before that. ship has sunk off the coast, and this is where you start kind of going, which type of thing do we want to try to do? Do we want to encourage the immigration of certain kinds or not? So we can try to help find survivors, or then we can try to search for anything that we really need. And it's too bad your window goes away, so you kind of like, oh, I don't know how much food I have. We're good on food, so I think I'm going to go with that. Does, however, mean I need another house. I need to turn that around so our door's facing the right direction. Also would kind of feel like you kind of need to plan your city real well, because if you upgrade all of these buildings and such, might get things kind of difficult if you want to try to rearrange your city. It's not going to be easy to just delete it, destroy your building, because you're going to have stuff that you put a lot of money into. Yep, we need firewood. We should have housing enough for people. Oh, 8 flam. Oh, okay. It starts to get a little bit difficult in winter time. So I think I might need... Ooh. I think I'm gonna go with that. Be more efficient. And we'll get another house built here. And we can upgrade it. And now we're in February. Road signs help your citizens. Yep. Rotate that one around and get them there. Alright, we're getting close to being out of winter time because we start the game in April. And we can have another person carrying. See, this is why you want to be efficient. By the time winter's all done, your food is extremely low. Oh, there we go. We're going to have another gift of tools. That'll help some. So we could... This one's cheaper. Alright, so our firewood should not matter quite so much anymore. Wow. We were out of food, but everyone is happy? That's pretty interesting. Guess they were happy of saving the people. But it does leave us with a few more kiddos here. That's for sure. Alright, so we can go to the town hall. We have 3 influence. I think all these... we need to have some research stuff, so that's going to take a little bit of time. We can... oh, okay. See all of our messages. We can look at our stockpile stuff. Residences we will see later on, so that's pretty nice. Oh. If you're having a hard time looking at things, alright. We got our grid, fertility, and ore. And we do have a mini-map. Alright. So if you want to play with that, that will work as well. Let's go to our research. And it doesn't take very long. It takes 7 days, so it'll go through this. Other days, other things will take some longer and different resources. So now we'll be able to do the fishing hut. And this kind of ends over here, so this is going to be our main branch here. So I'll have them go ahead and do that, because that just branches into like everything. Gotta be able to quarry the stone and the iron and stuff further on so that we can replenish the tools and everything else that we'll need. So, mines, we got decorative stuff. We got stuff for the herbalist, which will be good to put in here. But let's go ahead and get the fishing in so we can kind of see how the water stuff looks. So some part on land, some part on water, and it's gonna depend on your coastal bits. You know, I like it there. It fits kind of nice and tidy, doesn't it? Alright. So the gatherer has a whole bunch of types of food. Hunter have a couple different other ones. We have the fishing, and then we'll have fields. So, assuming food variety will take into account some things here. We need more. We have people, so we need to have them making more food. And the more people you get, the more food you're going to need to generate here. Which also means, let's throw in our first expansion. Let's put another gatherer there. We could do another hunter. And another hunter. We got the fishing built. And plop. A bunch of things popped around. Boat, some supplies. And likewise, you can expand it and make production better. And we'll throw in another person. Just because we have all those extra people that have come in, we need to up our food. So that is the start of that. It's quite a big map, as we saw on the mini-map. No, not the grids. Here's our zoomed out bit. So we have lots of coast. Can do lots of fishing. Don't think he had a zone, but he might have some efficiency. Like, there is pools of stuff there. See, it doesn't have how efficient like the gatherer stuff, so this might be something that is an optional thing to do to help you get more food. But I'll keep an eye on this kind of thing and see how this develops and what else gets added, because there's, you know, like a few things that are not in this alpha build, and you know, see how it goes. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.